If you rely on Social Security, SSI, SSDI, VA benefits, or SNAP to get through the month, then what I am about to share with you in the next few minutes is something you genuinely cannot afford to miss. I am Rasmus, and here on Rule by Seniors, we cut through the noise and give you the real information you need when you need it most. Tonight, we have a critical end of March update. And if you have been checking your bank account more than once a day this week, wondering whether your money is coming, whether something changed, or whether a delay means there is a problem, I want to clear all of that up for you right now. And here is my promise before we go any further. By the time this video is done, you're going to know exactly what is happening this week, who should be expecting a deposit, what dates matter most for your specific group, what your bank may do before the official payment date, and precisely what steps to take if your money has not shown up yet. This directly affects SSI recipients, certain Social Security retirement and SSDI recipients, many VA households, and viewers who are also waiting on SNAP at the same time. So let us get into it. Yes, some deposits are going out this week, but not for every single group. And before anything else, I need to say this clearly because it removes so much of the confusion that spreads every single month at this time. There is no new bonus attached to these payments. There is no special increase. There is no surprise extra check being quietly sent out at the end of March. What is happening right now is about timing and timing alone. March is ending. April is beginning. And the regular federal payment calendar is moving into the first set of monthly deposits for the new month. That means some people will see money hit their account this week simply because their normal payment date falls at the very start of April. Other people will not see anything this week because their regular schedule puts their payment later in the month. That is the full explanation. And that one detail alone eliminates most of the fear and confusion that circulates every time a payment week like this comes around. Here on Rule by Seniors, Rasmus keeps it honest and keeps it simple. So let me separate what is real from what is not. What is actually happening is that regular monthly federal benefit payments are being released on the normal schedule for the beginning of April. What is not happening is any new stimulus, any emergency card, any special senior check, any hidden deposit, or any last-minute federal giveaway connected to what you are seeing this week. None of that is real. And that matters because a significant number of misleading videos and social media posts take an ordinary payment week and package it to sound like something dramatic changed. In the vast majority of cases, nothing dramatic changed. The calendar is simply doing what the calendar always does at the turn of a month. Now let us talk about who is actually included this week, because this is the part that determines whether any of this applies directly to you. If you receive SSI, which is Supplemental Security Income, your regular payment is normally due on the first day of the month. This time around, April 1st falls on a Wednesday. So for SSI recipients, Wednesday is your official payment date this week. That is the date to watch. Now some of you may see that deposit arrive a little earlier than Wednesday, depending on your bank or your prepaid card provider. Others will not see it until Wednesday itself. That difference does not mean one person received something extra and another person did not. It does not mean one account was approved for something special. It simply means that different financial institutions handle incoming federal deposits in different ways, and that is completely normal. Now let us move to Social Security retirement and SSDI recipients who fall into the earlier payment group. If you began receiving Social Security before May of 1997, your regular payment typically arrives on the third day of the month. That same payment timing also applies to some people who receive both Social Security and SSI under certain older scheduling arrangements. This month, April 3rd falls on a Friday. So if you are in that pre-1997 group, or if you are one of the viewers whose payment arrives on the 3rd rather than on a later Wednesday schedule, Friday is your official date this week. So the two key dates for this week are straightforward. SSI recipients are looking at Wednesday. Pre-1997 Social Security recipients and others paid on the 3rd are looking at Friday. That right there is the clarity that so many people have been searching for this week. But here is something that a lot of people do not fully realize, and Rasmus wants to make sure you understand this before you start worrying unnecessarily. Most Social Security retirement and SSDI recipients are not in that early payment group at all. The majority of people receiving these benefits are paid based on their birthday, and those payments are distributed on the 2nd, 3rd, or 4th Wednesday of the month, depending on the date of birth. So if your birthday-based payment normally comes later in April, and you do not belong to the pre-1997 group, you are most likely not receiving a deposit this week. And that does not mean anything went wrong. It simply means your payment date has not arrived yet. This is the exact point where so much unnecessary anxiety begins. People hear that Social Security deposits are going out this week, and what they should actually be hearing is that some Social Security deposits are going out this week for specific groups. That one word, some, makes all the difference in the world. For our viewers receiving VA benefits, whether that is VA disability compensation, pension payments, or certain related VA benefits, those funds are often tied to the start of the month as well. Many veterans and military family households watch the very end of one month and the first business day of the next month closely because that is when the new payment cycle becomes visible. So yes, many VA recipients are also watching this week carefully. But again, the timing on your screen still depends on your specific financial institution. Some banks post the deposit early. Some post it only on the official release date. Others may show it as pending before it fully clears. All of that is normal, and none of it automatically means something is wrong. Now for SNAP, I want to be especially careful here because this is one of the areas where confusion spreads the fastest. SNAP is not distributed the same way Social Security is distributed. There is no single national SNAP deposit date that applies to everyone at once. SNAP distribution depends entirely on your state, and often on the specific details of your individual case. In one state, payments may go out in the first few days of the month. In another state, they may be spread across many different days throughout the month. So if you are waiting on SNAP right now, you need to be looking at your own state schedule, not at what someone else posted online from a completely different state. A deposit showing up for someone in Texas does not mean yours should appear the same day in Ohio or Florida or Pennsylvania. These are separate systems with separate timelines, and comparing them to each other only creates unnecessary stress. Here on Rule by Seniors, we always say this. Once you separate the groups and understand which schedule actually applies to you, the picture gets much calmer. And that calm comes from accurate information, not from hoping that someone else's post applies to your situation. Now let us talk about how banks handle all of this, because this is the piece that causes the most repeated checking, the most anxiety, and the most confusion during weeks like this one. The government has an official payment date. Your bank has a posting date. Those two dates are not always the same thing. The Social Security Administration sends the payment. Your bank decides when you actually see it in your account. Rasmus wants to say that one more time because it genuinely explains so much of what people experience during payment weeks. The SSA sends it. Your bank decides when you see it. In practical terms, this means your payment can be released on the correct federal schedule, and your bank might choose to show it to you a day early, show it right on time, show it as pending first, or make it fully visible only after the final posting is complete. That is why one person says their deposit hit Tuesday night, while another person says they still do not see anything Wednesday morning. Both of those people may be completely fine. They are simply using different banks with different internal policies. If you receive your payment through direct deposit, your funds will generally appear sooner than if you are still receiving a paper check. And if you receive a paper check, you also have mailing time to account for, which means your experience will be very different from someone receiving an electronic deposit. Please do not compare your timeline to someone else who uses a completely different delivery method. And here is another detail that many viewers miss every single month. Pending is not always the same as available. If your account shows a pending deposit, that can actually be reassuring because it tells you that movement is happening and money is on its way. But pending funds are not always immediately spendable funds. Please be careful about spending against a pending balance before you are absolutely certain it has fully posted and is actually available. That small distinction can protect you from overdraft fees at the worst possible time of the month. So what should you actually do if your payment has not shown up yet? Rasmus walks you through this step by step right now, so you know exactly what to do instead of just sitting there feeling helpless. The first thing to do is verify whether this is actually your payment week. That sounds simple, but it is the most important step. If you receive SSI, your date is Wednesday. If you are in the pre-1997 Social Security group, your date is Friday. If you are on the birthday-based Social Security or SSDI schedule, your regular payment may simply be coming later in April, and this week may genuinely not apply to you at all. The second thing to do is check your bank account carefully and thoroughly. Do not just look at the balance at the top of your screen. Look at your posted transactions. Look for any pending activity. Look for alerts from your bank or your card provider. Sometimes the payment is already there, but it is labeled in a way that people do not immediately recognize. Third, if you have a My Social Security online account, log in and review your benefit information directly. Look for any notices, any direct deposit updates, any letters, any deductions, any overpayment recovery notices, or anything else that might explain a change in the amount or the timing of your deposit. Fourth, pay close attention to whether your deposit amount changed. A lot of people believe their payment is missing when what actually happened is that the amount was reduced because of a deduction. It could be Medicare related. It could be an overpayment recovery. It could be another adjustment that is already reflected in your account records. A missing payment and a reduced payment feel very similar in the moment, especially when money is tight. But they are not the same problem, and you solve them differently. Knowing which one you are actually dealing with changes everything about your next step. Fifth, if your money genuinely has not arrived, allow the standard business day window before assuming something is truly wrong. In most cases, waiting up to 3 business days is the appropriate practical guidance before concluding there is a real issue, especially when mail delivery, bank processing, or posting delays could be involved. After that window, contact your bank first and ask specifically whether they can see an incoming federal deposit, a return deposit, or any kind of hold on your account. If the bank cannot give you a clear answer and the payment should already have been issued based on your schedule, then contact the Social Security Administration directly for Social Security and SSDI-related concerns, or contact the VA if the issue involves a VA payment. And please, if you recently changed banks, switched prepaid card providers, or updated your direct deposit information for any reason, double-check right now that the correct account details are actually on file with the correct agency. That one issue alone explains a significant number of payment problems that viewers report every single month. The money went somewhere, but it did not go where it was supposed to go because the account information was not updated properly. Rasmus also wants to take a moment here for something that goes beyond the numbers, because on Rule by Seniors, we understand that for people living on a fixed income, waiting on a deposit is never just waiting on a deposit. It is wondering whether the groceries can be purchased before the balance runs out. It is wondering whether the utility bill will clear before the late fee hits. It is wondering whether the medication pickup has to wait one more day. It is wondering whether one late bank posting creates 3 other financial problems all at once. The inflation of the last few years has made that pressure significantly heavier, not lighter. So if you have been feeling tense this week while watching your account, that feeling is real and it is completely understandable. But the good news is that calm and accurate information genuinely helps. When you know whether this is actually your payment week, what date applies specifically to your benefit group, and how your bank typically handles federal deposits, you are in a far better position than someone who is just reacting to rumors and posts that may have nothing to do with their situation. Here is your practical end-of-month checklist in plain language. Verify your payment date for your own specific benefit type. Verify your direct deposit information if you changed anything at all recently. Verify whether your deposit amount changed because of deductions, overpayment recovery, Medicare adjustments, or any other modification. Protect yourself from scams that always increase around payment weeks. Do not trust any message telling you that you must pay a fee to release your benefits. Do not click text message links claiming your Social Security account is suspended or that you need to confirm your information immediately. Do not spend money that shows as pending if you are not yet certain it is fully available and posted. Apply for every legitimate support program you may qualify for right now. If food costs are still squeezing your budget, look into SNAP if you have not already applied. If utility bills are becoming difficult to manage, look into LIHEAP, the Low-Income Home Energy Assistance Program. If Medicare costs are consuming too much of your monthly check, look into Medicare savings programs, which can cover premiums and reduce out-of-pocket costs significantly. And if you are not sure what additional help may be available to you beyond what you already receive, visit benefits.gov and take time to review what programs exist in your specific area and your specific situation. And here is something that Rule by Seniors always wants you to remember. Sometimes the most effective way to protect your monthly budget is not waiting for a larger federal deposit. Sometimes it is reducing what you are currently spending. Lowering even one recurring monthly bill can ease just as much financial pressure as receiving a small benefit increase. Look at every expense with fresh eyes this month. Now let us address the question that always comes up during a payment update like this one. Will more help be coming? The honest answer from Rasmus is simple and direct. Nothing new is official unless it has been formally announced, properly funded, and actually put into effect through the correct government process. Discussions happen, proposals get mentioned, lawmakers talk, headlines circulate, but unless something is officially confirmed and implemented, it is not something you should be counting on or planning around. Your bills require facts, not speculation. Please be careful with any source, online or on video, that turns rumors into promises and makes hope sound like guaranteed money. What you can rely on right now is your regular schedule, the official rules already in place, your own benefit category, and the way your specific financial institution handles incoming federal deposits. That is the solid ground. Everything else is noise. So let us close this out with the clear and steady bottom line that you can actually use. If you receive SSI, Wednesday is your key date this week. If you receive Social Security in the pre-1997 group, or you are someone paid on the 3rd of the month, Friday is your key date this week. If you receive Social Security or SSDI on the birthday-based schedule, your payment is most likely coming later in April and not this week, and that is completely normal. If you receive VA benefits, you may be watching the start of month deposit cycle, but what you actually see will still depend on your bank and its internal processing timeline. If you receive SNAP, follow your own state schedule and do not assume that another person's deposit date in another state applies to your situation. And if your money has not arrived yet, do not let fear fill in the blanks. Check the official date for your group. Check your bank directly. Check your My Social Security account if it applies to you. Review any notices or deductions that may have changed your amount. Then follow the proper contact steps if the deposit still does not appear after the appropriate window. You deserve updates that make things clearer, not louder. Here on Rule by Seniors, that is exactly what Rasmus is committed to giving you every single time. If this video helped you today, drop a comment and tell me what city and state you are watching from, because that helps other viewers in our community compare timing in a way that is actually meaningful and accurate for their area. Subscribe to Rule by Seniors if you want calm, clear, honest updates without the hype and without the fear-mongering, because we will keep tracking every important change and breaking it down in plain English that anyone can understand and act on. Until next time, stay steady, protect your account, know your dates, and remember that in a week like this one, knowing exactly which group you belong to and what date applies to you makes all the difference. This video is for informational purposes only and does not constitute official SSA or government advice.